special use permit. I'm just pulling cameras out for the winter.
Oh, of course, yeah, right.
Right on. Thanks.
Have a great day, man.
All right, it is the last day of SNRF Quest for the season for 2024 at least. Headed up to get everything out. I'm gonna leave one, I think, trail camera in that prime spot for the winter. Hopefully that kind of rock knob area gets a little bit windswept and the snow won't accumulate too much right there. We'll get a few months at least of, you know, footage before we get buried. But yeah, we're on the way up and we'll see what we can see. This could be a very fun camera check. It could be yet another almost, you know, kind of camera check. So you never want to go in expecting amazing things, but that's always in the back of your head. So we'll get up there and see what we got. So here we are, the last trek up this hill for the year. Assuming I can carry all this stuff back down in one trip. I don't know. We'll see how that goes. But I'm back from London, and man, what an honor, what a crazy deal. I mean, Wildlife Photographer of the Year is such a prestigious institution in the wildlife photography community that getting awarded in that competition is, I mean, it's a career highlight for anyone. And still kind of reeling from the whole experience, just being you know, grouped with the elite level of photographer that is honored at that event. You can't help but come away feeling, I don't know, honored, but sort of validated, inspired. I mean, all of the above. It's pretty amazing. Great to get to know some of those photographers a little bit and to just share that experience, you know. Very, very cool. It's also like, it's inspiring in that something like this, you know, we're after the 2-year mark right now, chasing one photo, and you can't help but sort of question, you know, the sanity of that, which other people do also. You feel like, is this pointless? Is it worth it? But then you go to something like this event and you're you know, surrounded by a room full of like-minded photographers who have done it or are doing it or are right there with you in terms of the work and the, you know, long periods of failure before the sweet reward comes, you know. So I mean, it's just what the doctor ordered in a lot of ways for me in terms of this project. But beyond that, it's just such an honor to be you know, awarded in in that whole deal. So hopefully I'll be back at some point to the wildlife photographer of the year festivities, because you can't come away from that without feeling like, what else could I enter this year, you know? What do I got? Will the SNRF deliver? Who knows? But anyway, this is my last chance to get in here right now before I skip town again. Heading to South Africa in 3 days. So by the time I get back, pretty sure there'll be a bunch of snow right here. The road through the park will probably be closed, and it'll put an end to the season. So we're gonna get in and see what we got, pack up the cameras and pull them out, and plan on coming back to the exact same spot in the spring, at least for that one camera, because I can't imagine doing better than that. So we'll see what we get, but let's get up there and see what's on the cameras this time. All right, here we are at the main camera. That trail cam, I think the batteries are starting to go. I'm not getting all my alerts, I don't think. I'm usually getting the daily like sync photo in the morning, and occasionally I'll get a video, if you know, thumbnail at night. I've gotten that Martin on it once, if I remember right, in the last couple weeks, but I don't think it's triggering as reliably as it was. At least I hope. I mean, it's been giving me nothing. So if it's telling the truth, it's been a pretty quiet couple weeks right here. But I got to figure out how to pack all this stuff. I brought a little bit bigger backpack than I usually do, but I got to get five flash units and 2 cameras. Well, 2 and a trail camera or 2 out of here. So we'll sort that out. But should we see what's on there first? Maybe we should. Let's check it out. All right, it did fire just now. That's me standing there. It didn't flash, so we got a couple thousand photos. Wow. All right, so flash batteries probably went. I'm going back now. This is me setting up. So from the beginning, this is going to be boring. A couple thousand. I got enough camera battery. I'm going to sit here and go through them, and I'll just fire the camera back up, I guess. I don't know. Should I record myself? Because last time I didn't, and the big reaction wasn't on there. Here, let's do this. I'll flip the camera. I'll stick it on the case right there, and you can watch my face as I flip through these, and we see if anything crazy shows up. I'll fast forward the boring parts here. So I turned that sensitivity down on that trigger, and I still have just tons of daylight shots. It's kind of bumming me out. The heat doesn't play nice with these triggers. So if the trigger gets warm, one of the ways the infrared works is it senses a difference in temperature when a subject steps in front of it. So if it can't sense a difference, it thinks everything's a difference, everything's hot, and it triggers. So one of the drawbacks to infrared, but it is what it is. All right, we got nothing. 2,600 and something photos on there, and like 8 of them were a squirrel, maybe. Hardly any at night. And as I'm sitting here going through photos, once or twice the preview would go away and the camera would click. Now I shut the trigger off when I pulled it just now, and the receiver is still plugged into the camera here, and it apparently was getting a signal and firing. It's on right now. Sorry, I'm going to drop my camera. So here I can point. This is the receiver wired into the camera, and I almost think it's malfunctioning. I think it's tripping the camera every once in a while for no good reason. There it went. I don't know if you could hear that, but I just took 4 pictures. I've never had anything like that happen before. So it's only happening during the day, but it's misfiring and tripping the camera a lot. I wonder if it's just freaking out. That is super strange. Part of me is wondering if I'm close enough to that other camera trap that a wind trigger over there could be tripping this. I think I'm too far away. I don't see how that could happen. It just cracked off 4 more pictures. Kind of baffled by that right now. It's not happening at night. I've only got a few exposures at night, and I don't think anybody special showed up at night in this window. So I don't think it cost me a photo this time, but I'm gonna have to figure that out. Experimentation at home over winter, but that's my trigger problem. I almost wonder if there's some radio signal in the neighborhood that's tripping both of these cameras. There it goes again. So since I've been sitting here talking to you, it's triggered 3 or 4 times. Any ideas, hit me up in the comments, because that is weird. So this is a basic Camtraptions receiver. You know, got a battery pack wired to it, and it's wired to the camera. And it is triggering with no trigger. So I'm gonna, you hear that? I'm gonna have to sort that out over winter, but that's probably what's been happening the last couple times. Might be time for a new receiver. That was very weird. I don't know, I'm gonna wander over to the other camera. Shut this off. That is new to me. Anybody watching this that's a camera trapper, tell me what you think. I've never used 2 so close together, I guess, but I'm talking like way over on that rock ridge is my other trigger. I don't even know if it's operating on the same channel, so I don't know if it's possible for that to be doing it. But that explains my triggers. It's not a trigger sensitivity problem, it's a receiver freak out problem. Very weird. So nobody showed up to give me a final farewell for the season right here. I've got a camera that I want to leave here. Not sure where to put it where it won't get triggered from wind. I think I might try to stick it like up on this tree, but these branches here might mess with me. The tree moving itself will mess with me for sure. Might be a bad idea. I don't want to put it down in the rocks, obviously, because it'll get buried with snow pretty quick. I'll look around and find a spot. There's not much of a spot though. All right, here we are at this guy. Still holding strong. Everybody got loose last time. Let's see. It is alive. I thought the battery was dead for a second. No, batteries are good. 26 videos on there. Let me pull it off the stump. We'll look at those. All right, there's one obvious deer clip, a few different deer. One nighttime one that I got all excited about because it looked like an ear of some kind sticking in the frame, but then it turned out to be a moth flying by. Nothing else that stood out. They're all daytime except that one. Hard to see on this little screen. I'll get them on the computer and see if there's anything cool, but nothing that jumped out. We'll wander over to that other camera and pack that up. All right, it did not trigger when I walked up, which makes me bet this is gonna say full memory card, dead battery. So I turn it on, it gives me the battery warning. Yep. Yep, so this was triggering also. So either one of these triggers is false triggering and they're close enough that the other one is picking up that signal, which is highly unlikely. That is so far away. Or they're getting interference. Some radio signal is passing through here and triggering that same frequency. That is all I can think of. I'm gonna take both of these cameras home, obviously, and I'll be using them throughout the winter, so I'll know if it keeps happening elsewhere. But if it doesn't happen at home, then it's gotta be a frequency thing. You can change the channel that they operate on. Maybe I can do that and it won't happen. But I'll do my best to set them up about the same distance apart at home and leave them on the same channel and see if it happens at home. I don't know, man. That is super weird. I'm gonna throw this memory card in another camera and browse through those photos. All right, well, I just went through 1,400 photos and my GoPro freaked out in the middle of it. So sorry about that. I'm watching the back of it right now just to see if it's still recording. It's false triggering and I don't know why. I've never had that happen. I haven't had it happen like this at all. And I've been using the same triggers for a long time. So I'm pretty stumped about why that would be doing that. That camera took 1,400 photos in a day and a half and burned out the battery, and that was it. And I turned the sensitivity way down on that trigger, below where it usually is ever set. And some reason it's just trigger, 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 trigger. So my best guess is that there's some sort of radio interference happening here. I mean, honestly, I don't know, unless this trigger is false triggering from a tree moving around and that other trigger way over there is picking it up. But that's further than I've ever had one work. So I don't really know. I'm gonna take them home and I'll set them up over the winter at my house, and I'm gonna try to set them up like about the same distance apart with all the same settings and see if the same thing happens at home. And if it does, well, then that's maybe what that was. But if not, it's gotta be It's got to be radio interference or something up here in this spot. Just making that thing click. So at any rate, nothing spectacular on this one either, obviously, and that is where we're at. So we pull everything out and we head home, and that concludes the 2024 season pretty much. That's camera trapping. That's the norm. Keep reminding yourself that. We'll be back in the spring. So I can't figure out where to put that trail camera. I'm gonna walk back over there and look and see where I might put that camera to kind of get an idea of what's around. I think everywhere I can figure out to put it where it won't get tree branches moving is too low. It's gonna get buried pretty quick in the snow. So I don't know, we'll check it out, but let me pack this one up, get my little mount off of the stump here, and pack all this stuff out, and we'll call it. All right, this is the root limb thing where the camera was mounted, looking that way. All I could figure out for the winter was that. So I got a camera on a mount on the end of that branch, and it was the best way to avoid having limbs and stuff trigger it. So it's looking kind of like that. And I walked it, and it tripped and triggered for me out there on that kind of area where the camera trap's been. So there's no other place, man. It still might get some wind triggers. Those branches could trick it. These could mess with it. I don't know. But the snow shouldn't get to it for quite a while. So we're just gonna have to play the odds and hope we get something. But that'll be the winter cam. We'll leave that guy, and we'll come get it sometime in April, probably May. But there you go. My GoPro died, so I'm recording on my phone. So that's weird. That's why. Wind's picking up. It's cold up here, but this is it. So I'm gonna pack up my pile of stuff, and we'll get out of here for another year. So 2 years. I'm gonna say we're wrapping up year number 2, and it's been a good one. We got a photo. We got a SNRF on the camera trap. So success in that regard. I want the photo, and it's worth it, you know. It's worth sticking it out and getting it right. So we'll be back. We will be back. But in the meantime, hopefully I'll catch some cool stuff at home. My neighbors just got a mountain lion on their cameras. I got a mountain lion a couple weeks ago. I'd love to get a few more shots of one of those guys. So the cameras will be busy, and we'll get them back up here as soon as we can. But thanks again for sticking it out, and stay tuned for more. Maybe I'll shoot some video in Africa in the next couple weeks, and eventually get that posted up on YouTube also. But have a good one. Hang in there, and we'll see you after winter on this quest.